You walk out to a beach stationed nearby a lake with nothing but bread in hand. As you place yourself onto the seat, a flock of ducks suddenly appear. You grin as you tear off tiny pieces of the loaf and throw them into the ducks' general directions. They cheerfully quack as they munch on their free and effortless meal. This is a common portrayal of waterfowl, but entertainment can't be their only use to society, right? Well, it turns out that ducks actually have a much more interesting, albeit less commonly talked about, side to them. Hi, and welcome to the Farmyard Fact-ory, the show that bombards you with facts about farmyard animals within only a few minutes. Today, if you haven't already guessed, we'll be learning about ducks. Let's begin with a little bit of background information on when and how they came into our lives. According from an article from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the beginnings of today's ducks were traced back to the mallard, muscovy, wood, and mandarin breeds. Around 4,000 years BC, they were finally domesticated by the Egyptians, Chinese, and Europeans. It was also noted that before Christopher Columbus's arrival in the 15th century, the people who were native to the Western Hemisphere already had domesticated muscovy ducks. This means that, unlike several other farmyard animals, Christopher Columbus did not introduce ducks to North America. So, what do we use them for? Well, in this day and age, it's become a relatively common tradition to cook and eat ducks for special occasions. Their eggs are also considered by many as healthier than those of chickens. However, this is subjective because, although duck eggs have more protein and other valuable nutrients, they also contain more fat, calories, and cholesterol. Another way that may come to a surprise to those unaffiliated with the farm world is how effective they can be when it comes to pest control. Many owners use them as a form of eliminating insects, which prevents the destruction of their crops. Also, as an added bonus, because they consume the bugs, it helps save money on feed costs. A lot of people also consider them to be good companions. However, that doesn't necessarily mean they're the best for you. There are a lot of pros and cons when it comes to duck ownership, whether you're having them just as a pet or as an actual farm animal. So, let's talk about them. First of all, the pros. They're often sociable and great at interacting with humans. Their eggs are often more creamy than those of chickens. So if you desire a more rich flavor when it comes to your eggs, this may be another reason why you should get them. And finally, they're more resistant to illnesses, unlike chickens who are very susceptible. Well, like I said, there's some reasons you might not want to have ducks, so now let's talk about the cons. They can be very loud, which means they may be unsuitable for those with nearby neighbors. They are very messy, especially when it comes to splashing water and large droppings. As I said, they always need a source of water for them to swim in, which can result in tremendous messes. Overall, ducks are a valuable asset when it comes to farm life, and have more to them than just eating bread. Even though they do not play as prominent of a role in the farm industry, that does not mean they do not have their benefits. I really hope I was able to teach you a little bit more about ducks today, or at least that I was able to enforce any knowledge you had of them prior. I also hope that you have a fantastic day. Goodbye, and I'll see you later.